Hey everyone, welcome back to MUFC versus everybody. I am, of course, your host, Sean. I'm just getting a few things wrapped up here before we get started. And obviously, we're going to be doing a live reaction to our 1-1 draw against Burnley at home on this match day weekend. United had a chance to go 2 wins on the bounce, which we haven't done in the league since February. And of course, in true United fashion, we blow it. So we're going to dive into my initial reactions, share a little bit of United-related news, and then we'll look at some stats from today's match as well. Obviously, tomorrow we'll come back for our 3 thoughts on the match. It's probably going to sound a lot similar to a couple of the other 3 thoughts videos because, again, it's just same stuff, different day with United right now. But we're going to do it because that's why we're here. It's why we're all United fans. We want to talk. We want to vent. We want to just support each other, right? It's what we need right now. So before we get started, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And don't forget to go check us out at MUFC versus everybody on Twitter. And let's get stuck in. So obviously, United come off their midweek win against Sheffield United. We won 4-2. We played very well against Sheffield. Obviously, you can say it's Sheffield, bottom of the league. They were just confirmed today to be relegated. So, where are our standards? Where are our standards? But again, you have to celebrate every step forward right now with United, and Sheffield United performance was a step forward. Yes, we went down twice, but the way we played, even starting the match, even despite going down, was much better than we've been playing, right? We were moving the ball very well. We were causing a lot of problems in and around the opposition box midweek, just with our movement and our interplay. It was very, very good. And I said in my pre-match against Burnley that it might be a little difficult just because of the way they set up. Obviously, Burnley played a 4-4-2, and you could see early on, and I said this in my pre-match as well, that their 2 strikers weren't as focused about getting the ball and bringing it down as they were about maybe pulling our defenders different ways and creating opportunities for some of those late runs from midfield from like Sander Berge, for instance. They were winning a lot of those first balls in our defensive third, and then their midfield was coming up onto those and then causing problems. And so I think Ten Hag takes a lot of responsibility today, and we're going to dive into that here. I'm trying to organize my thoughts. Coming back, we're all still in our feelings. We're all still frustrated. We're all still kind of just trying to make sense of everything. Feeling a little flooded right now with a lot of the frustration. So maybe to calm down first, let's start with some statistics from today. So obviously, if you remember our match midweek, our passing game was on point midweek. We made a lot of passes. We 654 accurate passes against Sheffield United with a 90% accuracy. Fast forward to today, not anywhere near that. So we only had 318 passes, so less than half of our passes against Sheffield United, and we only completed 78% of them. So 12% decrease in accuracy. And it doesn't take a statistical genius to watch the game and see our passing was garbage today. We were making no passes. We struggled to get the ball into the final third, and when we did, we struggled to just do anything with it. Bruno had an awful game today by his standards, and especially by recent performances. He just was struggling to complete those passes. He was struggling to get the ball away. It was just, again, time and time again, one too many touches to get the ball away, to find the attacker. And fair play to Burnley, they did really well to cut out those balls, cut out those passes. And it was one of those things where you're like, are we just bad at passing the ball, or are they just reading the pass? It was a combination of both throughout the match. There were some instances where you're like, you were telegraphing that pass. It didn't, like, a toddler could have made that interception. And in some instances where it was just, the ball just wasn't going there. And it's really too bad, because I think that there was an opportunity today to do something. It's hard to pinpoint any singular kind of flaw today other than just sloppiness, hesitancy to move the ball, especially in our defensive third too. We were causing ourselves a bit of problem trying to clear the danger, which from the first few minutes, I could tell this was going to be another frustrating match where we're kind of riding our luck, because again, this is what I mean when I say this. Some of this is going to be on Ten Hag, especially. We're trying to play out from the back, and we don't have the players to do it. It's like I don't understand if the players are just afraid to, or if Ten Hag is telling them. But we know this is how Ten Hag wants to play, so I'm more inclined to think that's what he's telling them. But we can't do it. We're making stupid decisions. We're playing stupid passes and it getting intercepted. We're not completing the pass time and time again. We're getting pressed off the ball. We're making these stupid 5-10 yard passes to a midfielder who's facing our own keeper, who's literally in the process of being pressed. And of course, we're losing possession. There was that one stupid play where the ball comes in the box and Casemiro tries to head it back to Onana, which is exactly what led to the penalty. Like, why are you heading it back to the keeper in that situation? Just get rid of it. Like this, and this is a part where I can't tell if it's a Ten Hag thing or if it's just the players are just not mentally there thing, because it's like in that situation as a defender, your first instinct is to clear the danger, right? We shouldn't be trying to bring the ball down to feet in our box. But if that's not a Ten Hag thing, then is that something Ten Hag should even have to tell someone like Casemiro to do? If it is a Ten Hag thing, then I don't know what he's thinking, trying to tell his players to do that. Just get rid of the ball, regroup, and we can do it again. We can try again. It's not that hard. So I am very, very frustrated with the way we're playing in those situations. It's not filling me with a whole lot of confidence. These are matches where every point counts. We've got 4 matches left now. We need points on the board. Newcastle just destroyed in their game earlier. Who did they play again? They played Sheffield United. So Sheffield United got destroyed by Newcastle. Newcastle are not that far behind us now. Newcastle are a point behind us. Like, that's not good. Like, I don't know what we're doing. We're literally throwing this opportunity away. We had such a big opportunity today. So really, architects of our own demise. And again, it's a repeat of what I just said midweek. So let's look at a few more stats today. We had 27 shots, 6 big chances. I know Bruno created another 9 chances today, which again ties what he's been doing the last few matches. So Bruno is trying to create. I think that he was a bit sloppy today, obviously. But their keeper also made 9 saves too. So their keeper had a kind of a worldie today, if I had to say so. But Onana did as well, aside from that stupid error, and we're going to get into that a little bit as well. Well, let's look at Bruno's stats today compared. So again, he created 9 chances. His passing was not good. 77% pass accuracy. He only created 4 big chances, 3 shots. Only 50% shot accuracy. Like, not good, comparatively speaking. Garnacho did not have a great game. He was getting into these opportunities. It's just that final ball from Garnacho. And again, he's young. It's going to happen. But that final ball from Garnacho was just not on. I mean, only 42 touches, 17 in the opposition box, but he just wasn't picking the pass. He only had 1 out of 3 successful drills and no accurate crosses when he's getting the ball. How many touches did Højlund have today? Højlund only had 14 touches and 3 were in the opposition box. Like, again, we're not able to find our attackers. We're not able to get that final ball as accurate as we need to. And it's causing problems, guys. So let's talk about Onana for a second. So I'm watching the game and Onana's making some great saves, right? He's keeping us alive. But then he comes out after that bad header back to him from Casemiro. And like we saw and maybe this is a bit of karma, if you want to call it that, if you believe in karma, or if you just believe in the league, maybe in the referees kind of waking up, because you could say we got away with one first match of the season against Wolves, and Onana did pretty much the same thing. But he comes out, misses that ball, and completely takes out Burnley's attacker, which maybe I'm a bit old school. To me, I'm like, it's not. If we're calling it a foul these days, then what's the point of a keeper coming out? Like, keeper, come on. And especially if you're not going to give that as a pen first match of the season against Wolves, how can you turn around and give it as a pen now? And that's the thing I'm getting. Whether or not you want to call it a pen is up to you. You know, it was dumb from Onana. He's late. He always looks stiff and sloppy in those situations. But if you're not going to call it in one match, you can't call it another. So regardless, Onana gives that away. And the problem with Onana in those situations is he's not coordinated. He's carrying way too much muscle, in my opinion. So he always looks like just stiff, not quite in control of himself because he's got too much muscle. He needs to drop a bit of muscle, similar like Lukaku had to do. And I think we'll see him be a little bit more agile in those situations. But he shouldn't have been put in that situation because Casemiro should not be heading the ball back to him when there's so many opposition players in the box. That's just inviting trouble. And Casemiro should know better. Casemiro did not have a great game either. He's making some sloppy passes. He was going for some very sloppy tackles, and he did not look good. So, I mean, his passing was atrocious, not even a 70%. How many fouls did he give away? He gave away one foul. See, Casemiro's not good. Harry Maguire didn't have a bad game, but again, Ten Hag has us playing a high line, and we're constantly chasing against the counterattack. And we looked leggy. Wan-Bissaka got moved to the right. We give up a counterattack, and he's jogging back. Our players are just way too far forward. There were some times where Casemiro was in the opposition half and just standing there. And when you play a high line and when we're so vulnerable at counterattacks, that's just inviting trouble time and time again. And this is why I'm not sitting here saying I'm Ten Hag out, but I'm just like, I look at Ten Hag like, what are you telling your players to do in these situations? Like, I don't understand why you're just inviting this kind of pressure onto yourself, especially when you know we're vulnerable in these situations. It doesn't make sense to me. And I'm not a manager, so I'm not going to sit here and profess like I know more, but at the same time, help me understand, make it make sense. So again, poor passing, poor performance, poor decision making in our own half, and just poor all around. It wasn't good enough, and it was so frustrating because we played so well. We could finally have an opportunity to start turning things around, and we just throw it away. And again, stupid error, stupid mistakes that led, similar to the Burnley. Onana makes a final mistake, but it's the ball to him that was also a big part of that mistake as well. So against Sheffield United, the pass to him after we get stuck trying to walk it out from defense puts him in that situation. I'm not absolving Onana from a mistake. I'm just saying, like, it's a combination of stupid decisions from several United players that put us in these situations. We were just being too risky with the balls, and you can tell when you're starting to get under pressure when you're trying to place triangles, when the balls are not on the floor and they're being lobbed and lobbed and lobbed, and eventually that just causes problems. We saw it early on in the first half, just constant, just trying to get a little too intricate, a little too tricky with it, and a little too risky. And the balls get sloppier and sloppier and sloppier as the situation escalates, and we gift away possession. And we do it time and time again. We need to clean it up. We play Crystal Palace next, and they are on a tear right now. They've been doing us favors in terms of beating like teams like West Ham and whatnot, but they're going to destroy us if we play like that today. I thought Dalot did not have a good game. Wan-Bissaka was sloppy today. Eriksen was almost non-existent. We didn't really do much. Garnacho just wasn't able to get the final ball. Anthony got his goal. And hey, you know what? Fair play to Anthony for fighting, for following that ball in and scoring. He needed that goal. It's his first league goal in over a year, I think the commentator said. So good for Anthony to do that. But other than that, what did Anthony do? What did he do? Bruno, sloppy. Højlund not getting touches, not getting chances to do anything. And it's just not good enough. We need to clean up our passing. So let's talk about our substitutions, because I was not happy with the subs, to be honest. I did not get why Højlund was taken off so early. Did not get why Mane was taken off so early, especially when you look at what was happening coming out. I think that I would have rather have seen Eriksen taken off. And I get maybe to a degree, Eriksen's one of the creative midfielders, and maybe Ten Hag's thinking he can do something, but he just wasn't really doing anything. I did not get that at all, personally. Do we put Ahmad up top? Is that what happened? Because we took off Højlund and put on Ahmad. Maybe McTominay kind of sat up there. What do you guys think about the subs? Didn't like them. Amrabat, I don't know. Mount, 90th minute. What is bringing on Mount in the 90th minute going to do, honestly? If you're going to make that sub, make it earlier. I would have subbed on Mount for Eriksen a lot earlier. I would have taken off Antony a lot earlier and put on Ahmad on the right. Would have kept Højlund on. Højlund needs goals. I don't really get what the point of that was. You bring on Amrabat and you're kind of basically saying, okay, we're just trying to hold out for some points here, or a point. And you can't do that now. Like, you're going to have to play these players now. I know that Ten Hag is a bit of a stickler when it comes to fitness. And to a degree, I get that. But this is the business end of the season. We have to just play these players. You can't sit there and keep Mount on the sideline for 90 minutes in a game where you need points, when you've got 4 matches left now. Play him. You're just going to have to play him. Whether you don't play him or he gets injured and you have to take him off, it's the same result at the end of the day. You need to play him, and hopefully he can do something. You play Højlund. Højlund's got the striker's instinct. He's reading balls. He's making good movement. Nobody else has the striker's instinct to get into the opportunity. We just saw a stat come out earlier today where Højlund has probably, I think it was like the best shot conversion. So in the league, you get him the ball, he will score goals. The problem is he's not getting the ball, and it's a problem. And fair play to the opposition, right, for cutting out those lanes and preventing the ball from getting to him. But at the same time, we have to do better. This is Man United. We can't let relegation teams prevent us from playing our game. And I get, to a degree, you have to alter the way you play every now and then. And against a 4-4-2, yeah, a lot of things are going to be different. But at the same time, we're Man United. Our players are better than Burnley's players. Our players are better than Sheffield United's players. We shouldn't let them dictate how we play. We shouldn't let them dictate whether or not we can complete passes the way we want to. We shouldn't let them dictate whether or not we can get the ball to our strikers. That's not good enough. And it's infuriating. And I'm so tired of it. Ten Hag has a lot to answer for today by forcing us to play out from the back the way we've been doing, which just slows things down. Onana gets the ball. We're just sitting there. We're not doing anything with it. When we saw against Sheffield that he can pick a pass if you give him the opportunity, but no one's making any runs. That's another thing that frustrates me. We're passing the ball and everyone's just standing there. No one's making any runs. No one knows what to do. And that's just inviting pressure, because if you have the ball, let's say Casemiro has the ball, what is he supposed to do when no one's making any runs? And eventually it just invites pressure. Burnley are able to just sit there and just stay in their shape. We're not doing anything. And yeah, you say like Rashford's not been good, but he's going to make a run. Højlund should be making runs. Garnacho should be making these runs. And so it's frustrating. I'm just super frustrated with the way we played today. Is not good enough, especially when you look at what we just did. Maybe, I don't know, can you say we're tired? We haven't had to play multiple matches in a week since Coventry? I mean, that wasn't too long ago. We need to be doing better. Not good enough. What do you guys think today? Is there anything you saw that stood out to you as a positive? I didn't see much positive, to be honest with you. I didn't think anybody stood out as playing well. I know they give Antony the man of the match for us because of his goal, but other than that, I mean, what did he do? He didn't really play that many passes. He took a lot of shots and a lot of them were on target, but he didn't really do much else. I mean, one successful dribble. I mean, just reading through the stats here. Yeah, we just weren't able to move the ball. Kabi completed the most passes. He had 27 out of 28 passes, but it was kind of anonymous, right? Like, we weren't able to, there are a lot of players that kind of flew under the radar, and players like Kabi and Eriksen just weren't really doing enough. And I'm not sure what the deal was today. So not good. We need to work on our passing for sure. We need to work on clearing the danger. We need to work on not trying to walk it out from defense, because that's a big problem right now. Got some hard matches: Palace, Newcastle, Arsenal, Brighton. We keep playing like this, I don't see us taking any points from the remaining games of the season. I just don't. Newcastle could be a big 6-pointer, and Arsenal, we could have. I mean, if we could lock it up for 90 minutes, we could severely dent Arsenal's title hopes. But you just wouldn't bet on it, would you? I know I'm repeating myself. I'm not really giving a whole lot of tactical analysis. I'm just frustrated, right? It's just crap. It was just a crap performance. All right, let's move on to something else right now, because we'll do 3 thoughts tomorrow. We'll dive in a little deeper, but let me know your thoughts on the Burnley match. You know, who stood out? Anything I didn't mention that you want to throw out there? Let me know. Let's talk about some of the news today. Obviously, you've probably seen some of this already earlier, but I wanted to make sure I stopped by and shared a few things. Some potential transfer news today. So Fabrizio Romano has tweeted that it's been confirmed that Fulham defender, who we've already talked about, Tosin Adarabioyo, who we featured in one of our videos earlier, a couple weeks ago, I think. He is going to be leaving as a free agent. It has been confirmed. He's already informed the club. The final decision has been made. So despite new contract proposal, he decided to leave, and he'll be available as a free agent. A lot of clubs looking at him. You think he'd be a great option for us. Good, free Manchester lad. Kind of is a no-brainer in that regard, right? So let's get it done. Let him get for free. And he raises the floor of our squad. We need floor raisers, not ceiling raisers. Floor raisers help our depth. We saw Ten Hag share his thoughts on Marcus Rashford's latest social media activity. What is it with social media in this club this season? I don't understand. And again, the word you associate with social media is drama, because that's what it is. It's just drama, and I'm so tired of it. So Ten Hag on Rashford said, Rashford needs support. We all know what he's capable of. We all have to support and push him. He can do better than this year. And he said, remember what he did last season. He was special. So it sounds like Ten Hag knows, okay, Rashford's not doing what he knows he's capable of, but he needs support. And that's what you need to do. You know, you don't just cut people off in your life because they've kind of slacked in whatever it is, friendships, relationships, family, whatever it is. You don't just cut people out. You support them, you're patient, you give some grace, you call it a one-off, whatever. Nobody performs perfectly 100% of the time, and that's okay. That's normal. That's what we do as human beings. Rashford knows he's not doing as well. Rashford knows, he's got a lot to do. I don't really understand, why he was so quick to respond and call things abuse. I'm sure he does get abuse, but I think that most of what we see mainstream-wise, and not just random comments or tweets, is not abuse, it's criticism. And yeah, there's a lot of it because there's a big justification for it. You haven't been performing, and it's not been good enough. And why we're frustrated is we know you can do better. But it sounds like Ten Hag's kind of offered both sides of that. Yeah, Rashford can do better, but it is what it is. So Leicester also confirmed. So what Sheffield were confirmed to be relegated, Leicester have been confirmed to be promoted. So Leeds lost 4-0 to QPR, and then 1 game left for Leeds. So mathematically, they're not able to reach Leicester. Leicester have 2 matches left, and Ipswich could actually still win the championship. They've got 3 matches left to play, and they are just 5 points behind Leicester. So they could actually overtake them if they win all their matches. But it looks like Leicester are for sure coming back, and we will see who else joins them. It could be Leeds, could be Ipswich, could be anything. If you're like me and you like a bit of immersion in your FC24 career mode, when I start new career mode later on in the season, like right now, if I were to start one, and I know like who's probably going to go down, who's probably going to be promoted, I'll change that up. So I'll start with the newly promoted teams, start with the relegated teams. I try for a little immersion in my career mode. Like when the game comes out, I turn off transfer windows. So I'm like, these are the players I have, kind of thing. I try to change the Europa, Champions League, Conference League groups to maybe reflect what's going on currently in the table, who I think is going to do. Like if I started one today, I probably would put United in Europa League and I would take them out of Champions League, kind of a deal. So these are the kind of things that can make your career mode a little more immersive, a little more enjoyable, a little more realistic. You want to get super realistic. When I play matches in any career mode, I only lock to one player. I don't play as a whole team. I find that a little bit more realistic as well. You have to tell players to pass or to shoot and stuff and make runs and hope they see you. It's much more realistic than controlling every single player. So try to keep that in mind. When we have another piece of bright spark and bright light in the United season, so our U16 women team just defeated Arsenal 3-1 in the FA Youth Cup, despite ending with 10 girls on the pitch. It's the fourth trophy for our youth players this season, after the men's U18s and the women's U21s winning their leagues, and then the U18s winning the Premier League Cup as well. So the academy is producing both in the men's and women's side. The women's team are doing well. Both the men's first team and the women's first team are in their FA Cup finals, obviously. And like we said yesterday, the women's team did sell out Wembley for their final. So it's a good all around for us, aside from the way the men's team has been playing. Still frustrated, right? I'm going to go check SofaScore real quick and see what SofaScore had to say. I want to check some heat maps today and see. Let's go check SofaScore and see some more stats here. Bear with me here, guys. I'm just going off the wing here today. All right. Burnley 1-1, because I want to see it again. So a lot of Bruno's touches were in the final third. Most of Rasmus' touches were actually in our own half. Garnacho got a lot of touches in the final third around their box. So it seemed like, again, the outball is Garnacho. He's getting the ball, he's getting it up to the byline, and he's like trying to do something with it. It's just not coming off. We had a couple of really good shots that came off the bar. Anthony's getting the ball. Anthony's not getting the balls high up as I'd like to see from Anthony. Looks like a lot of his touches kind of just inside their half on the right side. Eriksson barely got the ball, and when it was a little bit more centrally in the opposition half, but he just wasn't able to do a whole lot with it. Mainu barely got the ball at all. Yikes. Yeah, Mainu wasn't really able to do a whole lot today. Dallo was basically confined to our half. Wan-Bissaka actually got a lot more touches in the final third than he did. Yeah. I did not get, again, the Diallo sub. I did not get the McTominay sub as late as it was. Amrabat and Mount were kind of wasted subs. Doesn't make sense to me, but I don't know. I'll have a bit more organization to my thoughts and my reactions tomorrow morning when I do my free thoughts. But for now, suffice it to say, 1-1 draw against Burnley the way we played today was crap. It was just crap. No way you can spin that. No way you can make that look any better. It was crap. Can't pass the ball. We take too many touches to get the ball away when there was opportunities to play it earlier. And fair play to Burnley for cutting out a lot of those passes. But it doesn't excuse our mistakes. We are sloppy trying to clear the ball. We are not good at passing the ball, and we're not great at finding our attackers. And if we can't find a way to fix that, if we can't find people who are better on the ball, if we can't find defenders who are just making better decisions in those kind of tense situations, it's going to be the same. And so I think, again, managers live and die by these decisions, the subs and the tactical decisions. And the fact that Ten Hag is persisting with some players, and some tactics is going to cost him his job. And you'd think that with all the speculation and everything going on, and a guy who clearly, is hearing a lot of it after he's called out journalists for it and he's banned journalists from the press conference, he knows it. He knows that talk is there. So it's easy for him to say he doesn't listen to it, but at the same time, it's clear that he does. You'd think that he would maybe try to do something a little different. But hey, at the end of the day, it's his job. I don't think anybody would have started Anthony today. Obviously, Anthony got the goal, and it is what it is. But at the same time, it's one of those, like, even a blind squirrel finds a nut kind of situation. I'm not trying to diss Anthony, but I think that Anthony is one of those players who is going to cost, because he didn't. What did he do besides the goal? And fair play to him, it was a good goal, but what did he do besides that chance, right? I'm not saying Garnacho was any better. Garnacho was trying to get to the byline, but Garnacho's final ball is just not good either. So it's kind of waffling a bit here. So I'm going to leave it there for now. We'll jump back on tomorrow, like I said. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you thought of the subs, the tactics. Anybody stand out to you as having a good match? Anybody you point the finger to as just you need to be dropped? It's hard to drop players right now. Obviously, we have a lot of injuries and stuff, but it's just, well, again, I think just you play them till they break when it comes to guys like Mount or McTominay, and see what happens. But we'll come back tomorrow morning with 3 thoughts. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Don't forget to go check me out, MUFC versus everybody on Twitter, and I will be back tomorrow, guys. Thanks.